Alright, this is kind of dark because I waited to the very last minute to tape record. Today is day 5 that I had a spinal cord implant, and unfortunately, I'm not having the greatest time. My back is in pain because my back's always in pain, but my unit, there's something wrong with either they have to reprogram it on Monday or they're afraid that one of my leads may have migrated, which I'm hoping that it's something that they can just program and make it all better. Let's see if I can get closer to the TV. If I can get more light. There we go. Right now, when I turn the unit on, it feels like there's a lead literally underneath my rib cage, and it's jolting me like I don't know how much pressure is going through it. It's absolutely ridiculous. The amount of I'm so sorry for this glaring. I just can't get up to turn on the light. I'm still not really that mobile. I'm in bed, well, on the couch still. I can't do stairs well. I did get out a little bit today, but I used my walker, and I still use a 4-point cane when I'm walking around the house. And I had that from my previous surgeries. When I had my spinal fusion, my discectomy and laminectomy, I had major problems walking. So, I'm sorry, literally, thankfully, I had that with me. I would turn the TV down, but I have no idea where the remote is. It's not within arm's reach, as you can see me fidgeting a little bit, like, where the heck is the remote so you can hear me a little bit better? But I'm not having much luck as I almost knocked my, I found the soundbar remote, so I guess I can turn this down a little bit. Alright, so hopefully you can hear me a little bit better. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm walking around the house with my 4-point cane still. It just hurts. I think it's bad enough where, you have surgery and it hurts, but then coming with the spinal fusion, you're supposed to have it where you have that relief of pain. So you're not having back pain, you just have the surgical pain. And unfortunately, because I don't have the lead part of it, I'm having my regular back pain on top of the surgical pain. I took off one of my dressings today on the middle of my back, and it just shows where I have stitches, and the sutures are in there, and the tape and everything. I haven't did my bum yet. They say I should be able to, been taking showers. I've been washing up really good in the sink because my shower is down upstairs and I'm downstairs, and I can't do steps. I went out the house today. I had to visit my daughter who was in the hospital, and I walked the steps going down. It was like 3 steps going up 3 steps, and a total of 6 steps today wasn't a good thing for me. I was out for about 2.5 hours, and I regretted it. And I sat down. It's not like I was running around the mall shopping or visiting people. I was at a table sitting down, the entire time, but it was still very uncomfortable. It still hurts to sit. I'm still using one butt cheek because my left butt cheek hurts too bad from the battery pack. I'm laying a lot on my right side, which is, I guess, the better of my sides. But the downside is I have bursitis on my hip, and I've been putting a lot of weight on my hip, so I'm not laying on my butt. I don't like laying on my back because obviously that's where the surgical incision is, and my back hurts. Laying on my left side, that's where my battery pack is, so that hurts my butt putting weight on the left side. I don't lay on my stomach because I had the spinal fusion discectomy and laminectomy in January of this year, 2014, and it still feels like my back is caving in, like where the procedure was from the weight of it. I don't know if it's psychological or what. I mean, I've tried, even in the middle of the night, I'll try laying on my stomach, and I wake up and I feel like that pressure on my back still, and so I can't lay on my stomach. So I sleep like off and on. I would say that I am up maybe every hour and hour to just try to get more comfortable, because it's difficult finding a position that I'm comfortable in. I'm thinking maybe it'll be better when I get in the bed. I'm not quite sure. I do also sleep with a pillow between my legs to relieve some of the pressure. Monday I go in, if I didn't say that already, Monday I go in and they're going to check the programming on my unit and check the positioning of my leads. Now, if it's something that they can program, it will be fixed. on Monday, but if it's not the programming of the leads, unfortunately, I have to go in for another surgery to find out where they migrated to and to put them back on the right path, which I pray that it's not that, because Thanksgiving is coming up and I cooked Thanksgiving dinner. I know it's going to be difficult for me this year, but it's going to be even worse and much harder for me if I have to go into surgery again. That would really, really suck. So I'm hoping that's not the circumstance. I'm a little dark now because I love watching either ID Network or surgical stuff, and I'm watching the surgical station now, and someone's getting an MRI of all things, or X-ray. It's all dark, so I keep going in and out of my picture. I know that it's a little dark in here. I'm not the lightest person either, but it's kind of hard for me to see. I should have did this when it was light out, but my husband's been such a sweetheart. He sleeps in our sunroom, which is connected to my living room, on the recliner chair there, so if I need anything in the middle of the night, that he's able to help me. So I really didn't want the light on either, because it kind of shines in through the other room. Although he sleeps with the TV on. I don't know. I guess I could have kept it on. But I try not to make a habit to get up. Like, if I have to get up for something, I'm going to do more than one thing. Like, when I went to use the restroom for the night, I got up and I tell my dog, right, come on, you go to the bathroom. While you're going to the bathroom, I'll go to the bathroom. Made sure I took my pain medicine and my antibiotic. The doctor didn't give me any pain medicines because I already had a half-week pain regime from, I have myofascial pain syndrome, my fibromyalgia, my chronic fatigue syndrome, my arthritis, my degenerative joint disease, and my back issues, or why I'm on a heavy pain regimen. I have other medical issues, but I take other medicine for that. But on my typical day before I had the surgery, I was taking oxycodone 3 times a day. I think 3 to 4 times a day, and depending on how I felt, and Oxycontin twice a day, and that made it so I was able to get out of bed to work. I've worked up until June 27th of this year. I've been on medical leave, and hopefully, after I heal from this, I'll be able to go back to work. Because although I still have other medical issues, and I'll always have pain my whole life, all the doctors told me I'll always have pain. But with the back pain, it made everything else horrific. I have ankylosing spondylosis also, so I know that I'll always have back issues. But this got to the point where it was too bad. Like, the pain would have me balled up, or I couldn't move, or I'd want to get out of bed, and I would step down and I would fall because of the tingling sensation in my legs, the pain, and I still have had this since I've had the surgery too, because I'm still obviously in a lot of pain, but where I hurt so bad that I just violently throw up, because I guess that's the only way my body can react, is it just hurts. I don't know how other way to put it. So I'm hoping this procedure will help a lot, because everything else that I have, there is no cure for. I just have to take medicine for the rest of my life. And it's kind of one of the things that you accept, or at least I've accepted. I had migraine for years, and I had an incident where I was in the military, and I was sent home on convalescent leave because I hurt my knee, and I was in so much pain I fainted, and I fell down my steps, and I hit my head. I had a landing on my step, and I hit my head really, really hard, and it caused me to have a seizure, and I also flatlined that day twice. And after I had the seizure, I didn't have any migraines, so I was like, I kind of traded one for the other. I mean, my migraines were textbook migraines. Like, I hear some people say, oh, I have a migraine headache, and then like a couple hours they're fine. And I'm like, how is that possible? But after seeing my neurologist, I was there's different types of migraines, or what people would consider a migraine is just a really bad headache, where I was down for at least 2 days at a time. No loud sounds, no light, no moving. It was just, again, getting sick. I couldn't move. I couldn't function. So I was pretty bad a couple days, a month, and I was out of work because of those days up. There goes the darkness again. But guess what came back? About 2 months ago, my migraines again. So I'm back on migraine medicine. I noticed I was having lots of little headaches, here and there. I would have a bad headache. But when you have so much body pain, you try to ignore some of the symptoms that you do have of other things. Sorry about that, guys. But when I was actually in Florida with my in-laws, that's when my head was hurting so bad. And I thought I was having a sinus infection because it's been so long since I had migraines. That my eyes hurt. It felt like my forehead or the bridge between my eyes was just collapsing inside of my head from pain. I was throwing up. My body was hurt. I was sweating, but I was hot, and I would have chills. It was like back and forth chills, hot, and so forth. And I called my doctor. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I have a really bad sinus infection. And they told me to go to the urgent care when I was on vacation, and that's what they diagnosed me with. They're like, well, that's what's back. So they have me migraine meds again that I take a couple hours before. I hope it doesn't get where I have to go back on Imitrex injections. But I'm almost out of actually my prescription that he gave me. So it's time for me to refill on that because it's, again, I could, constant headaches. It's pretty awful. But I'm alive. And I gotta think of the good parts. There's tons. I have 12 medical diagnoses, and all my doctors want me to go out on disability. But the truth is, I can't. One, I'm a little stubborn when it comes to things like that. Don't tell me what I can and can't do. I've worked since I was 13 years old. I don't plan on stop working now. I'm taking a little hiatus now to get myself in better shape. But one, there's not enough money in disability. Two, I have kids. I mean, they're not little kids. We have two 15-year-olds here, and my daughter, who's 22, is a full-time student and does internship, is here. But I can't leave that responsibility for my husband to support my entire family. I'm too independent for that, and I don't feel comfortable with that. And I hear so many people, oh, that's what your husband's for, or, that's what happens in a marriage. That might be for you, but it's not for me. I'm used to working. I want to work. I love to work. I love money. I love nice things. I'm a shopper, and it's kind of hard to do when you don't have, you have one income. Right now, I am on disability, like I mentioned. Through my job, I started off on short-term disability since I've been out for so long, because I was out earlier this year for my fusion, and then I was out for a couple of weeks because I cracked a bone in my back, of all things. And then for this one, so October 4th, 2014, I officially went out on long-term disability. And it went out with a combination of my fibromyalgia was just out of control, the pain from my degenerative joint disease, and my back. I also have arthritis in my back. I have the ankylosing spondylosis, and then I had some bolting discs and some other major issues going on that stopped me. But I've had most of these diseases for the rest of my life, and I was able to work them out. But the main thing, this back thing's pretty stubborn, so it's got me for a couple months. But I'll be back hopefully the middle. There goes dark again, guys. I'm sorry. By the middle of January, end of January, something like that. Hopefully no later than end of February, I'll be back in the workforce again, because that's where I belong. I'm a worker. I need to work. I need to feel worthy of myself, not just anything or anyone else. I just need to feel worthy of myself. I get 40% of my salary now, and it really sucks. It's not a lot of money. I have a huge car payment. I have regular bills. I have student loans. I have medical bills at the wazoo. I just can't afford to be home. Give me a couple $1,000s more a month. There goes dark again. There we go. A couple $1,000s more a month. I can stay home. But since I'm not getting those couple thousand I'm missing if I was working, it's time to go back to work. It's just weird, because another back surgery, like I'm really praying that everything will work out on Monday. But in the same token, if I have to have another surgery, go in and fix it. Because I don't think I'm ever going to let them operate on my back again. This will be the 4th back surgery in 15 months. And with all my other issues, I don't have the strength. I already have a compromised immune system. And I have a petite built. There's not much more I can handle. Physically or mentally. For those who have chronic pain, know how much it impacts you mentally. I suffer from depression and anxiety. And one of the main causes is because it feels like my body has failed me. So I'm hoping everyone who's had or going to have this spinal stimulator, that it works out well for them. I'm still confident that it will work out for me. Just a little hiccup, because you have to look at the positive things. To some it might look bad, but I gotta look at it this way. Thank God that I had the insurance to go to the doctor. Thank God I had a vehicle to get me to the doctor. Thank God that I had a husband who was able to take off from work for a couple of days to take care of me. Thank God I have a home to come home to, and I'm not living with anybody. We're not really struggling. There's so much more to be thankful for. So I try to think of those things when I start to get down or start to get really, really depressed. It's hard, and of course my meds help me with that too. But for people who are going through this and all the other challenges of their health, try to think of the positive things in life and the positive things that you have. And you might not have as much that I have or more than I have, but just be thankful for what you do have. Because at the end of the day, you might see your life as being really crappy, or why are all these things happening to you? I told one of my friends, she's like a niece to me, that God gives his greatest battles to his soldiers because he knows that they can handle it. Yeah, it sucks being sick. It sucks having lots of debt because of medical things. It sucks being stuck in bed. It sucks having to depend on people. But you know what? You woke up this morning. Some people don't even have that privilege. So try to look at those things. When things get really bad, try to find some positives. Well, that's my closing day 5. Tomorrow is Sunday. It's usually my typical Sunday. I believe in God first, family second. That's right. Carolina Panthers third. I know my team isn't doing that well this year, but win, lose, or tie, I'm a Panthers fan till I die. So, no church for me tomorrow. I won't be up to it or sitting in the pews or anything like that. So, hopefully my husband will come. They videotape our church, and hopefully he'll bring a CD for me so that I'll be able to see service. So it'll be just football on the couch. Can't even cook dinner or anything like that, which makes me feel horrible because I'm not a big cooker, because I'm one of those people, I shouldn't have to cook every night, because why? But when I cook, I like to cook, decent food and stuff for family, and I'm a baker. I have a baking company also. I bake design cakes. I want to put a plug in here right now since you're watching me, and just because I like people checking out my website. It's www.antigonescake.com. That's ANTIGONESCAKE. Antigone's Cake. And so I'm hoping to be able to bake more, because that's my passion, that's my love. And designing cakes is my outlet. Hopefully one day I'll have a big brick and mortar store, and I'll have a couple of them, and that will be my only full-time job. But if I don't post tomorrow, which I probably won't, I will definitely put a video up for Monday, so everyone can know my outcome of how it went. Let's just pray that they'll be like, oh, we'll just reprogram your stimulator. So God willing, that's it. I hope everyone out there has less pain, good hope when it comes to surgery, and just have faith in yourself, faith in your surgeon, faith in your doctor. And times like it's difficult in relationships too, because not a lot of people can handle being in a relationship with someone with chronic pain. So here's having you have faith in that too. So I took my oxycodone, took my antibiotic, and my dog is like laying on my stomach right now. Thank goodness he's a little guy. But until next time, everybody have a nice morning, afternoon, and night.